G'day, Blue Baggers, and welcome to Blues Footy Live, a big edition of the show on this special Thursday night. We didn't do it last night because of the mid-season draft, but we are back tonight for a big show. It's your host, Jed Zetzer, here alongside my co-host, Harrison Hymans. Bolt, welcome.
Zoots, how are you, mate?
Mate, I'm going well. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to see you again.
I'm glad to see you now. Teams have just dropped, Bolt. I'm going to grab my phone so I can read them out.
Yep.
So just the one out, 4 ins, as we know, with the team playing on the Sunday. The confirmed changes will obviously happen tomorrow at this time. But Bolt, what we know now is that Michael Gibbons is out injured, obviously with that hamstring injury. And coming in, Luke Parks, Paddy Dow, Zach Fisher and Jack Nunes. Mark Murphy stays in the side after coming on last week as the medical sub.
Yes. So Murphy will come in. So Murphy for Gibbons is like the change to the 22 we've got.
Yeah.
And then I guess whether there's going to be any other changes because it's still a squad. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think Nunes will play. And we know Fisher's going to play. So it's going to be interesting. What are your feelings of who's going to be the next one out?
Well, obviously, I think it's, Murphy in for Gibbons. I think Fisher will play. Maybe Fisher will be the sub. I don't know. First game back. They may want to wait another week, but I don't know. Potentially Fisher's the sub. Who goes out if both Murphy and Fisher come in?
I haven't seen the extended bench yet. Is Owies on the extended bench? Or is he named in the team?
Owies is on the half-forward flank.
Who are the others on the extended bench?
So it is Fogarty, Setterfield, and Casbolt.
Well, all roads have to lead to Casbolt, surely.
Yes, that's what I would have thought. But I don't know. Blue Bag is tuning in. Let us know what you think the changes are actually going to be. Assuming Fisher and Murphy come in, who goes out with Gibbons? And I guess then proposes another question. Parks, does he come in?
Well, Kennedy going out for West Coast makes them a little bit, and obviously Oscar Allen makes them a little bit smaller. So, yeah, maybe it's Parks for Casbolt to give us that flexibility.
It very well could be.
It'll be very interesting, actually. You're right. Maybe Fisher might be the substitute. Again, it's going to be very interesting, actually.
I mean, I made it pretty clear on the podcast this week. I don't think I'd be dropping Owies. He's warranted, and there's been enough good form to warrant him staying in the side. I just believe he should stay in. Bolt, let us know what you think about the key matchups this week. Who is the one to watch for West Coast? And Blue Bag is tuning in. Who's a player for West Coast this week that is one to watch?
Darling's the big one. So Darling and Mackay, arguably two of the most in-form key forwards in the competition at the moment. I'd presume, for me, it's just so much more simplistic for Wietering to go to the best forward. And we didn't do it last week with Buddy, which I understand because Buddy's probably a bit too quick for Wietering and Jones can keep up in that regard. But for me, Darling's a big one. In terms of Setterfield, I thought Setterfield actually played okay on the weekend. For me, Setterfield probably shouldn't be the one making way. And then I guess in the midfield, it's a matter of who. I think there's going to be a lot of time into Gaff. And I think this is where the defensive role of Cottrell is going to come in handy. You get that defensive wing of Cottrell, maybe clamping down on Gaff.
We've seen the comment here about Nick Nat. Could we maybe see Pitternet go out and De Koning put full-time in the ruck and then Casbolt swung forward? Is that a possibility?
Well, Pitternet's named in the 18, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Pitternet's safe.
Well, does that matter, though?
Yeah, it usually does. It should. Okay. For the Sunday team.
Well, so the players then, it's going to come from Fogarty, Setterfield and Casbolt. I wouldn't have thought Fogarty is going to get dropped. I thought Setterfield played better last week, and Casbolt's the one, obviously, there out of the three that I'd say is most likely to make way.
No, I agree. I think it is Casbolt, but maybe for team balance, it becomes a Setterfield issue. I wouldn't have thought dropping another midfielder is, healthy for team balance, though. So, no, I'm going to say, as in Casbolt, he just, his role on the weekend was just so... I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I'm going to struggle watching Carlson play another week with DeConning, Pinternet, and Casbolt in the same team.
No, well, you can't do it. You can't do it.
No. There's no way.
Now, Bolt, key matchups. I mean, we've seen there the comment about Cripps versus Yo. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, so they'll try and get Yo to him, which is good. Isn't there two beasts, two contested ball beasts, Yo and Mackay. Cripps is in really good form. So we got to back our captain. This is a big day for the footy club. What are we? 4-7. So let's put it bluntly here. We're on the canvas, and this is must win.
And you look at the players that West Coast have out. I mean, look at their outs just this week. Tim Kelly, Oscar Allen, Josh Kennedy. Those are three mega outs. Brander's been handy. Archie's been handy. And they're joining a plethora of good players on the sidelines. I mean, this is as good of an opportunity as we'll ever get. And they haven't won at the SCG since 99 West Coast.
I know. This is if we're ever going to beat West Coast, it has to be this week. SCG, depleted West Coast. We should get another game under Jack Martin's belt. Zach Fisher back in the team. If we're ever going to beat them, it's this week. As in, if we can't beat a depleted West Coast on the road, who are a fringe top 8 team as it is, then you're not even close to where we need it. We're not even close to where we need to be if that's the case.
Yeah. No, it's a fair call. Blue Bag is tuning in. Let us know what you think the key matchups will be in this week's match. It's obviously going to be very interesting to see how everything pans out. But let's go talk about our back line and how it's going to match up on their forward line now, which is missing Allen and Kennedy. So Darling becomes the main man there. Wiedering, are we assuming that he goes to Darling?
I'd like to think it's Wiedering to Darling, Jones to Jake Waterman, and then they've got some weirdos. I don't know how else to put it. So Luke Edwards, Jack Petrocelli, and obviously Liam Ryan's a gun. So Liam Ryan's going to be a very interesting one as well. So was it Petreski-Seaton that got him last year?
I reckon so.
Plowman. It was Plowman. Well, either way, both aren't playing this week. So I don't know. So if Parks doesn't play, who goes to Liam Ryan? I feel like they're going to...
It's going to be Stocker.
Stocker, you reckon?
As in, Stocker played on Papley, didn't he, on the weekend?
Ish. Yeah. They all rotate through. Yeah, it probably might be Stocker to Ryan. I don't mind it. But it's just like, is that what we want? Are we like playing Liam Stocker to his strengths as the number one small defender? I'm not sure if we are.
I don't think we are, but I think that's where he is currently.
We've spoken about it. We're so bereft of a genuine small defender, that Nick Smith lockdown just goes about their job every week. We just don't have that at the moment. The fact that we're debating who's actually going to play on someone like Liam Ryan.
No, I mean, I agree with you. Can we talk about the midfield? I mean, they've got a couple of key outs here as well. Shuey, obviously Kelly's gone out this week. How is our midfield going to match up against theirs?
So Sheed, Yo, Gaff, Redden, probably their 4 versus Cripps, Walsh, Ed Curnow, and let's say, Jack Martin or Doherty or Setterfield, something like that. We should go okay in the middle. If we can neutralise Natanui, which I think with Tom DeConning in the ruck, we can easily even win, in terms of hit-outs to advantage. It's going to be DeConning's 3rd game now. I think we've just got to literally, obviously we're not going to, but, if we could have just handed the keys to Tom De Koning and let him, ruck full time, it'd be massive.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it isn't the case.
Because De Koning almost, he thrived against Nick Nat last year in Perth.
I know. I think you look at that matchup and you go, well, last year it worked, so give it a go again. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy, I think, if De Koning, Pitternet and Casbolt all stay in the side, because they'll all get a crack on Natanui then.
It's just you can imagine me. It's a circus, like the three of them in the team at once. And it was Casbolt was actually, I feel bad for him. He was just playing like such a no man's land role last week. It would be great for Tom De Koning to literally just have a crack, 120 minutes. We've got the bye next week. Exhaust yourself for 2 hours. Go run with the best hit out, tap ruckman we've seen in the last 15 years, and have a crack at him, because Natanui is essentially what we want De Koning to be.
Yep, absolutely. Blue Bag is tuning in. Let us know what you do with the ruck situation, and also let us know what you think the key matchups are in our forward line and their back line. So let's move there, Bolt. Obviously, H is the big talking point here. Who do you think will get him?
So Barras will go to Mackay. And they're pretty bereft as well, which is maybe they swing Casbolt the other way. So the resting ruckman, whether it be Pitternet or De Koning, will probably get Harry Edwards, who's played a handful of games. And then, if they do want to swing Casbolt forward, it's probably Jackson Nelson, and then Tom Cole gets that Silvani-Jack Martin matchup. Well, they're a little bit, without McGovern, they get opened up a little bit. And then I'd assume Shepherd will take bets.
Yeah. Well, they're also missing, Witherden, and I know Duggan plays on a wing now, but Witherden's a bit of an out as well for them in that back line with McGovern. They're missing key players all around the ground. Look at the list here, just off the top of my head. Kennedy, Allen, McGovern, Shuey, Duggan, Witherden. I don't know if I've missed anyone, but there's a heap of players they're missing. I think their back line is probably going to suffer almost nearly as much as their forward line would. Would you not agree with that?
No, I agree. They're so depleted. Zoot, it's now or never. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And I was somewhat confident last week, but Zoot, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this week.
You reckon we're going to get up this week?
Yeah. I don't know what.
Mate, you said it last week, and
maybe last week was more wishful thinking, though.
So you look at this match on paper and you go, I'm confident we will win.
Yeah, come on. And they've been pretty ordinary lately as well. They're kind of going through the motions a little bit. For me, this is just a non-negotiable. This is beyond a non-negotiable. If we lose this week, we go 4-8 at the bye, we haven't beaten anyone of real significance.
But we haven't beaten anyone outside of the bottom 5 or 6. Obviously Essendon, but they'll land up there by the end of the season.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I know.
Blue is tuning in. Send through any questions or comments, and we will address them. Bolt, so you're pretty confident. You'll be at the game this week. You're up in Sydney. Have you got tickets?
Say that again.
Have you got tickets to the game?
I do. I got my tickets today, which is very nice. I'll be in the members pavilion this week, actually, which will be. I've got to wear a collar, which will be interesting. But no, I'm excited. It'll be good. My tour of Sydney goes on, I guess.
It does.
I'm in the hub. I'm in the hub.
Bolt, any other players we haven't really touched on?
I think the other big one is, Walsh, as good as he was last week, I know he had 33 possessions. He probably wasn't at his damaging best last week, but I feel like, another big week for Walsh. Just another big week. Stamp, because West Coast is historically, I guess, such a strong midfield. Stamp yourself, kind of make it your own a little bit. Another one, Zach Williams as well. We need him. It's such a narrow ground and it's such a short ground. If he's rebounding as regularly as we need him to, it's just going to get to H so much more directly. And that's where H looked so dangerous last week with an empty forward line around him.
This is a good comment. It's a good comment from Todd that our biggest downfall is conceding goals in red time. I mean, we did it last week. We do it every week, really. We've really got to clamp down this week, don't we?
Last week was so frustrating because, I thought our first quarter was actually brilliant last week. I thought we were brilliant. And we were a goal down. We were a goal down at quarter time. In the second quarter as well, we were pretty good as well. We were a point up. As in, and we conceded the last 3 goals of the first quarter, the last 2 of the second. It's just like little things like that. Just so frustrating. But it is. It's concentration.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at West Coast this week. So we got the Sunday at the SCG, 3:00. Conditions, Bolt. Is it going to be raining?
The last time I looked, it wasn't forecast to rain, but it's a pretty miserable day here in Sydney. So it's been raining today. So who knows? It was even like last Sunday against the Swans, it was raining the whole afternoon, then kind of stopped and started. It was also the coldest day I've ever had at the footy. It was freezing.
Really?
And I wasn't in shorts or anything like that. I was in pants and a shirt, and I was shaking, shivering. It was so cold. I don't know why.
Crazy.
But, yeah, I know. We'll see what happens though.
Blue Baggers tuning in. Comment any questions or comments you might have on this week's game, and we'll definitely dissect them. Now, Bolt, we didn't really analyse last week's game, did we? Yet, so we'll quickly run through it. I mean, obviously, we got run over late. You were at the game. Can you give people watching an insight into what it was like actually watching it unfold at the ground?
A car crash.
Yeah.
There was a car crash. Oh, and I've said to you, I thought our first quarter was probably the most organised footy I've seen us play this year. There was clear intent. You could see how we wanted to play, and we're playing really well. But we leak goals in the fourth quarter. It's just it got probably too overwhelming for them. They just came so quickly. It really did. The West Coast form here at the SCG. As sketchy as it is, I think they've only played there 9 times in the last 20, 21 years. And Sydney's been a very, very good side for the majority of those 20, 21 years.
I was going to say, they have only played there 9 times, and they haven't yet played us there. So it's a different ball game.
Yeah, exactly. As in, we've never played West Coast at the SCG, so it'll be interesting. I see the comment here as well. It's about Josh Kennedy being out. What a shame. As in, look, it is a shame, but, Josh Kennedy is a club legend because Josh Kennedy brought Chris Judd. So we're always eternally grateful for Josh Kennedy, but it's a massive loss. It's a massive loss for them. Big gain for us. It just makes life a little bit easier for us going in. It really does.
This comment here about naming Casbolt because they thought Kennedy was playing.
They tried to do that last week. They tried to free up Wiedering, and the thing is, Wiedering's good enough to be able to defend
and get the ball,
free himself up. Whereas Casbolt, it was for me. It was just such an unnecessary structure change. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So we've got. Let's talk about St. Nunes. Is he any chance of playing?
I'd be surprised. So I listened to Daniel O'Keefe, and he said Dow was probably our best player in the 2 scratch match last week. So maybe Dow's a better chance of coming in as opposed to Nunes.
And who would go out? Would that mean Setterfield makes way?
Potentially, but for me, that's just such an unnecessary change to make. As in terms of the 22 itself, Murphy for Gibbons, Fisher, I reckon we'll go shorter. I reckon it's Fisher for Casbolt.
So Murphy for Gibbons, Fisher for Casbolt. And then, if Dow comes in, could it maybe be for
Setters?
Yeah.
But you get what I mean? As in, I don't have a major issue with that change. I just think it's unnecessary.
No, I agree.
Making a change for the sake of making a change.
Mm.
And I thought Setterfield was fine last week.
I want to ask you, Bolt, do you think we're any chance of winning this game if we don't play at our absolute best, or is our absolute best required to win this?
Well, that's the issue with Carlton over the last X amount of time, that we only really win when we're so switched on. We can't just kind of cruise and kind of, hold a 3-4 goal lead for, 2.5 quarters. We need to, have the foot on the pedal the whole game. So, no, it's 100%.
Yep. This is interesting. Cottrell, 10 disposals at 33%. I don't know. Cottrell's a really interesting one because as we keep on saying, you feel like if he was going to go out, it would have already happened. Maybe the recruitment of Jordan Boyd, who's a winger, maybe he'll come in eventually. What did you think of our mid-season picks last night, Bolt?
I knew we were going to take the ruckman. I knew the ruckman was going to come, and I spoke to a mate who knows a bit about him, and he thinks we should be pretty excited about Murkov. He reckons he's like a freak athlete, like a really super talent. Young ruckman will obviously take a lot of time, but we've just lost Cruiser, and we've seen this year we don't have a lot of ruck depth, so we can't complain. We needed the ruckman. We can't complain. I don't know much about Jordan Boyd. I watched the little highlights package Carlton put on, a bit of dash off half back, through the middle. And it's just like, it's something no team can ever have enough of, elite ball users, line breakers. And if you look at the team at the moment, Nunes, Cottrell, those guys playing on your wings aren't that. At the end of the day, Cottrell isn't an elite ball user.
Yeah, it's a fair call. Blue Bag is tuning in. Let us know what your thoughts are on the two draftees, Alex Murkov and Jordan Boyd. Bolt, can you see Boyd coming in, to play this year?
It's tough to know. I don't see why not. How old is he? How old is Jordan Boyd? I didn't quite get his age last night.
Pardon?
I didn't quite get his age. That's the one thing. I know he's mature age-ish. But irrelevant. I don't see why these guys. I'd be surprised if the ruckman came in now that DeConning's back, but I don't see why Boyd can't. He's 22, so he's not
young.
Yeah, it's pretty young. Look, 6-month contract. You'd like to think for his sake he gets a go at some point.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I'm actually pretty keen to see how he is because he's, come in. We're desperate. We're absolutely desperate for a winger, Bolt. We need someone to come in and own the wing. Doherty's done it on one side, and as much as Cottrell has been serviceable, we need someone to come in and really own the other wing, don't we?
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. It's where like our chains are breaking down. That's why there's no fluency through the game for us.
Yeah. No, it's fair enough. Blue Bag is tuning in. Send in your predictions for the match. Who's going to win and by how much? And also, if you have any questions or comments, send them through and we'll have a look. Bolt, prediction, how much? You're confident we're going to win, so how much are we going to win by?
Jetty. 9 points.
9.
Yeah.
9.
I'd like to think if I've been stuck here for 2 weeks that I can see at least 4 points. Surely.
Blues by 10.
Yeah,
Blues by 22. I like these comments rolling in. Keep them coming, Blue Baggers. Don't like that one.
Yeah, look, and it's one of those things I wouldn't be surprised if we lost, but I just think the cards. I think the hand we've been dealt this week in terms of West Coast omissions. We've had a pretty good run recently on the injury front. We shouldn't be losing. It's just frustrating because if we lose this week, it's just they're going backwards. There's no other way to put it. And that's the harsh reality of a loss this week. And I know it shouldn't come down to one result, but that is the harsh reality. If you get to the half, you get to your bye, you're 4-8, you're 14th or wherever you are, and you've beaten 4 pretty ordinary teams. As in, what is that?
And do you think Teague will be under pressure if we lose this week?
I think he'll be under pressure if we win.
So you reckon he's already under pressure?
I do.
Internally or externally or both?
Definitely externally. I think the jungle drums are beating around Teague because we're standing still. As in, we're not improving. We're not going to play. We're most likely not going to play finals again. Probably not internally yet, but the questions will be asked. And if we lose this week, it'll be a manic week in the media for us, which is just the harsh reality of being the empire we are.
Yeah. Yep. Look, I'd absolutely you'd take this being at the game, a kick after the siren to win it.
Mate, if that happens, some of those bars around the corner, shit. We have no idea what's hit it.
Bolt, I think that's a wrap. It's going to be very interesting. Hopefully we win. I'm tipping us by 3 points. I think it's going to be tight.
Exactly what we need on a Sunday afternoon.
This is just before we go. This is actually interesting. We only played 2 top 8 teams in the second half of the season. Okay.
We'll touch base.
We definitely will touch base. It's another one.
Yeah, and look, that as in once again, and that sounds all rosy, but at the end of the day, we're not. We just have to get results on the board. Have to get results on the board.
Well, John, hopefully Cripps does sign the contract. Hopefully it's before we win. Hopefully it's before the game. But yeah, let's just hope he re-signs. Bolt, I think that's a wrap. Enjoy the week in Sydney. Enjoy the game. Blue Bag is up in Sydney. Enjoy the game. And those stuck in Melbourne will watch it on the telly. But Bolt, thank you for joining me. And Blue Baggers who have tuned in, thanks for joining. Bolt, you excited for the game this week?
Say that again.
You excited?
I am excited. It'll be very interesting. Look, once again, I'm just very grateful that I get to go. So I can't complain. Very
good. Blue Baggers, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's edition of Blues Footy Live. We'll be back to do it all again next week. Well, actually, we've got the bye, so it'll probably be the week after. But we'll speak. We'll hopefully see you all in between. Blue Baggers, thank you for tuning in and enjoy the week. Hopefully, we get the dub.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.